Cannot wait to get your take on this one, Meat. We got Tristan Connelly, aka Boonstonks, taking on Darren Elkins, the Damage, who in that last fight against Cub Swanson, he absorbed a lot of damage. I mean, he was essentially a wobbling zombie moving forward out on his feet, and Cub Swanson was able to capitalize with some lethal, precise strikes, and that was tough to watch for Darren Elkins because he's a guy like his nickname suggests. Acquires a lot of it, right? And at 37, you wonder how much more of it he can sustain. But in this fight against Boonstonks, who is more of a grappler, he's pretty well rounded, but I wouldn't describe him as a power puncher. I think that this is interesting matchmaking and not necessarily safe matchmaking for Elkins, but matchmaking that will perhaps preserve his dome because I don't anticipate him eating too many shots in this one. But I mean, he's a guy who took out Derek Minner, took out Eduardo Garagori before that, and that was nice to see because he had lost 4 straight before that. So, what are your thoughts on this one against Boonstonk, who somehow beat Michel Pereira? He was coming off the streets, essentially fighting in a division he's never been before, and ultimately Michel Pereira did too many backflips and ended up dropping that one to Boonstonk. So he's 1-1 in the UFC. Most recently, we saw him against Pat Slabatini, and against Slabatini in that one, he lost the first 2 rounds pretty handily, but in that third round, he was really able to turn it around. He won that third round for sure, and that was good to see because he kind of took an early beatdown from Slabatini in that one. So, what are your thoughts on this one? I mean, he's a slight underdog, that is Boonstonks, and the damage is coming in at minus 140. Who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, I actually really like this fight for Boone Stonkers, 100%. I think he's gonna get it done. I gotta go for the Canadian, and I think he's been looking pretty great even though he's coming off a loss. But I just think he's a better all-around fighter. I don't see him getting gassed. He proved his worthy versus Michel Pereira. And if he takes out Michel, the damage has no chance. I'm just gonna be honest, because the damage is no Michel Pereira. So it's gonna be a very interesting fight. I don't see him getting a KO or sub, but I think it's gonna be a unanimous. I think he'll play a smart fight. He doesn't want to go to the damages realm, which is just who can take more damage because we know who can take more. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Canada, Tristan Connelly, win by decision.
Yeah, good stuff. And if we look over at Topology, 65% is rolling with the damage, 35% is rolling with Boonstonk, but most of it is base. So it seems as though Topology is equally bullish on this fight going the distance. I think that that's a strong play. I think that ultimately this does go the distance, but ultimately I'm taking the damage in this one because I don't know. I feel like he's a guy who, sort of like Connolly, will get better later on in the fights, but ultimately, I just like Tristan. I like Darren Elkins to be a little bit more well-rounded when compared to Tristan Connolly, and I don't think Connolly, aka Boonstonks, has the necessary power to put him out necessarily. And when you cannot put out Darren the damage Elkins, then sometimes he might be putting that damage on you. So I remember that fight against Mirsad Bektik where he was getting absolutely smoked, and does his damage like thing, comes back in the third round, and really just solidifies himself as a guy who, if you don't put him out, then he's always going to be coming back and back. So ultimately, I'm taking Elkins. Do you think any chance Tristan Connolly can finish him? Because I mean, if you land heavy enough strikes like Cub Swanson did, you can put him out. But is Boonsocks the guy that has the power to take out the damage?
No, Boone Songs is a very technical cardio guy, so I just don't see the power taking him out. Um, it's gonna be a great fight, maybe even fight of the night. But I could see one of these guys are possibly losing their UFC contract after this, so it's gonna be very interesting to see who comes out on top. But I'm going with Boone Stonks.
Yeah, you do wonder if someone's job is on the line in this one for sure. And last question for you, Meat. If ultimately you were, to sit down in the tattoo shop, are you gonna ultimately roll with Jamal Hill's thumbs, Chris Dawkins is my brother's keeper, or are you taking that clean, the damaged font straight across your chest? Which one would you be rolling with, Meat?
Man, that's such a tough question to ask, but I think I gotta take the damage. I mean, it's such a classic, iconic tattoo right across just the damage. The thumbs up is kind of funny, and I'm not too sure what Dawkins is doing, but yeah, no, I gotta go with the damage, 100%.
Yeah, with you all the way. That iconic photo again after that fight against Mirsad Bektik was simply something to behold for sure. So, an absolute legend. I'm picking him in this one. Ultimately, we are split. However, he's taken the other guy, Tristan Connolly. I got Darren Elkins. Let us know who you're taking down below. Check out the next video.